He's not called.
Still the MP for Yatta.
Member for Yatta, please proceed.
I think he wants to promote me, but I've not been in the military, so I don't know why he's using the word general as a before my name. Anyway, thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you to the Deputy Majority Leader for requesting me to second this procedural motion. When I keenly look at the calendar of the National Assembly for 2025, it's very well structured, and I have no doubt to say I second the procedural motion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Member for Yatta, Honorable Basil. Honorable members, I now propose the question that notwithstanding provisions of Standing Orders 41 and 42 relating to conveying of messages from the Senate and from the President or the National Executive, Standing Order 120, 122, and 126 relating to publication, procedure, and upon publication in the first reading of bills, and Standing Order 122 relating to tabling of statutory instruments. This House orders that during the short and long recess of the fourth session, 1, upon receipt of any messages from the Senate or upon receipt of any name of a person nominated for appointment to a state or public office from the President or any other office in the National Executive, the Speaker shall forthwith refer such message to the relevant committee for consideration without having to recall the House, and report such fact to the House on resumption. 2, upon receipt of any message relating to the Senate's amendments to a bill originating in the National Assembly, the Speaker shall forthwith refer the schedule to the Senate amendment to the relevant committee for consideration pursuant to provisions of Standing Order 145, Senate amendment to bills originating in the National Assembly, and report such facts to the House on resumption. 3, should a bill be published during the said period or a published bill become due for the first reading, the Speaker shall, upon lapse of at least 3 days following the publication of the bill and following a determination that such bill is of priority, forthwith refer such bill to the relevant committee for consideration pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 127, committal of bill to committees and public participation, and cause the bill to be read a first time upon its next sitting, and the second reading may be taken forthwith or on such other day as the House Business Committee may determine. 4, should any other statutory instrument be transmitted for tabling before the House during the period, the Speaker shall, following a determination that the statutory instrument is of priority, forthwith refer the statutory instrument to the relevant committee for consideration and cause the statutory instrument to be tabled in the House upon its next sitting, in accordance with the provisions of Section 11 of the Statutory Instruments Act, number 3 of 2013, and 5, should any paper be transmitted for tabling before the House, the Speaker shall, following a determination that the paper is of priority, forthwith refer the paper to the relevant committee for consideration and cause the paper to be tabled in the House upon the next sitting. Honorable members may now go ahead and put the question. I now put the question, which is that notwithstanding the provisions of Standing Order 41 and 42 relating to conveying of messages from the Senate and from the President or the National Executive, Standing Orders 120, 122, and 126 relating to publication, procedure upon publication, and first reading of bills, and Standing Order 210-2 relating to tabling of statutory instruments. This House orders that during the short and long recess of the fourth session, 1, upon receipt of any message from the Senate or upon receipt of any name of a person nominated for appointment to a state or public office from the President or any other office in the National Executive, the Speaker shall forthwith refer such message to the relevant committee for consideration without having to recall the House, and report such fact to the House on resumption. 2, upon receipt of any message relating to the Senate's amendment to a bill originating in the National Assembly, the Speaker shall forthwith refer the schedule of the Senate amendment to the relevant committee for consideration, pursuant to provisions of Standing Order 145, Senate amendment to bills originating in the National Assembly, and report such fact to the House on resumption. 3, should a bill be published during the said period or a published bill become due for the first time, the Speaker shall, upon lapse of at least 3 days following the publication of the bill and following a determination that such a bill is of priority, forthwith refer such bill to the relevant committee for consideration, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 127, committal of bills to committees and public participation, and cause the bill to be read a first time upon its next sitting. And the second reading may be taken forthwith or such other day or on such other day as the House Business Committee may determine. 4. Should any statutory instrument be transmitted for tabling before the House during the period, the Speaker shall, following a determination that the statutory instrument is of priority, forthwith refer the statutory instrument to the relevant committee for consideration and cause the statutory instrument to be tabled in the House upon the next sitting in accordance with the provisions of Section 11 of the Statutory Act Number 3 of 2013. And 5, should any paper be transmitted for tabling before the House, the Speaker shall, following a determination that the paper is of priority, forthwith refer the paper to the relevant committee for consideration and cause the paper to be tabled in the House upon its next sitting. Honourable members, may I put the question? Honourable members, will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Order number 19, procedural motion, limitation of debate on legislative proposals to amend the Constitution.
Majority Leader.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, I know it's a long day for you, but we are managing. As Honourable Speaker, I beg to move the procedural motion on the limitation of debate on legislative proposals to amend the Constitution. Honourable Speaker, that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 97.1, this House orders that each speech in the general debate contemplated under Standing Order 1147A and B, consideration of the legislative proposals to amend the Constitution, be limited as follows. A maximum of 20 minutes for the mover in moving and 10 minutes in replying. 15 minutes for the leader of the majority party and the leader of the minority party if the proposal is not party-sponsored. Members with similar or related proposals and the chairpersons of the relevant departmental committee, and 10 minutes for any other member speaking, and further that priority in speaking shall be accorded to the leader of the majority party and the leader of the minority party and the chairperson of the relevant departmental committee. In that order. Honourable Speaker, I would like to request the Honourable Professor Barto Jeb Kimoy to second.
Honourable Dr. Barto.
Madam Speaker, I second.
Thank you very much, Professor. Honourable members, I now propose the question that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 97.1, this House orders that each speech in the general debate contemplated under Standing Order 1147A-B, consideration of a legislative proposal to amend the Constitution, be limited as follows. A maximum of 20 minutes for the mover in moving and 10 minutes in replying. 15 minutes for the leader of the majority party and the leader of the minority party, if the proposal is not party-sponsored. Members with similar or related proposals and the chairperson of the relevant departmental committees, and 10 minutes for any other member speaking, And further, that priority in speaking shall be accorded to the leader of the majority party and the leader of the minority party and the chairperson of the relevant departmental committees in that order. I'll now go ahead and put the question. I now put the question that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 971, this House orders that each speech in the general debate contemplated under Standing Order 1147A-B, consideration of a legislative proposal to amend the Constitution, be limited as follows: a maximum of 20 minutes for the mover in moving and 10 minutes in replying, 15 minutes for the leader of the majority party and the leader of the minority party if the proposal is not party-sponsored. Members with similar or related proposals and the chairperson of the relevant departmental committees, and 10 minutes for any other member speaking. And further, that priority in speaking shall be accorded to the leader of the majority party, the leader of the minority party, and the chairperson of the relevant departmental committees in that order. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Order number 26, motion, approval of the calendar of the National Assembly for 2025.
Yes, honorable members, you realize that we have skipped 20, 21, 22, 23, and now we are on. You may proceed, Majority Leader. Honorable Owenbaya. Thank you very much. I would like to put on record that order number 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25 were already considered by the Speaker and the House. So now we may proceed with order number 26 as read. Honorable Majority Leader.
Okay. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that, pursuant to the provisions of the Standing Order 28, this House approves the calendar of the National Assembly regular sessions for the 4th session 2025 as contained in the schedule to the order paper. Honorable Speaker, the House Business Committee has proposed a total of 199 sittings between 11th of February 2025 and 4th of December 2025. This excludes special sittings and any extra sitting that the House may resolve to sit. Honorable Speaker, as members may be aware, business in the first part of the session is mostly guided by the submission of the budget policy statement, the BPS, which we laid today, and a medium-term budget strategy by 15th February 2025, which we have laid also today, the budget policy statement and the medium-term debt strategy, which we laid today and should be considered and adopted by the House within 14 days. So, Honorable Speaker and members, within the next 14 days from today, we'll be considering these two very important documents that we have laid, and this will be done within the 14 days. So I request members to read the budget policy statement and also to ensure that they have acquainted themselves to the contents of the medium-term budget term debt strategy, which we have done today. Honorable Speaker, additionally, we expect the Division of Revenue Bill to be introduced in the National Assembly by 10th of March 2024. Honorable Speaker, as we are aware, the Division of Revenue Bill usually is a very contentious document because of what counties want, what the national government wants, what the Equalization Fund wants, and all those. So, Honorable Speaker, I request that members make sure that they read the Division of Revenue Bill and take a position, and we debate this matter here by the 10th of March when we table this. Honorable Speaker, the second part of the session is guided by the budget timelines on conducting of public hearings by the Budget and Appropriations Committee on the annual budget estimates. This should be undertaken before the committee tables its report on the estimates for approval by the House. Honorable Speaker, we know what happened last session when we had the budget and the finance bill coming to this House, and I think it's important that proper public participation be conducted so that the residents of this country and our residents in our constituencies are aware of the contents of these two very important documents as we prepare, Honorable Speaker, going forward. Honorable Speaker, again, further, mid-June will be pronouncements of the budget highlights. a very important day for Parliament and for the country. The budget highlights where we have, and the revenue raising measures, where we have the Cabinet Secretary will come to present such in this House. Honorable Speaker, you may find it very interesting that for the first time, the Honorable John Ngongo Mbandi will be coming to this House, not as a member sitting, but as a Cabinet Secretary to lay the budget estimates and appropriations in this House. So we look forward to mid-June when the highlights on the budget and highlights on revenue raising measures will come to this, and therefore approval of the Budget and Appropriations Committee report on the annual estimates introduction and approval of the appropriations bill will be done during this time. Very important piece of legislation that we shall have, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, important also is the finance bill. The appropriations bill and any other supplementary appropriations bill should be approved by 30th of June 2025. So the finance bill, and I know I have seen a lot of effort, Honorable Speaker, to ensure the finance bill that we are bringing into this House is put to the general public and proper debate is taken and proper public participation. And I want to commend the efforts of the Honorable John Mbadi for having started off. I saw him at Jivanji Gardens. I have seen him today doing a very good press conference and enlightening the public. And that's how important it is, Honorable Speaker, when you have a Cabinet Secretary who has come from this House and who has served in this House, and he goes out there, becomes Cabinet Secretary, and he takes over the work, and he does it with enthusiasm and passion, and he wants to inform the public, and I think that is really commendable to the Minister and the Ministry in Treasury. Honorable Speaker, the preparations of the calendar has also taken into consideration religious holidays, with Easter Good Friday being on the 18th of April 2025, and the Easter Monday falling on 21st April 2025, and similar Eid ul-Fitri is expected to take place on the Sunday of 30th March 2025, or Monday 31st or March 2025, depending on the sighting of the moon. Honorable Speaker, it's important that members also take time off with their families to celebrate these very important holidays, and therefore the calendar that we have has taken cognizance of this, and therefore we have put it in there to ensure that members go out there for these holidays. Honorable Speaker, it is also worth noting that the annual prayer breakfast, a very important date for this House, the annual prayer breakfast, which is actually attended by many dignitaries from outside the country, and also His Excellency the President of the Cabinet, and every other member, we come together to pray for this country. Very important. And I hope the committee that is led by the Honorable Chepkonga. Honorable Chepkonga today, is preparing for Valentine, and he's very busy trying to get a Valentine date for tomorrow, where he is seated. But I want to remind him of his role as the chairman of the annual prayer breakfast. Please make sure it is properly prepared so that members join, the country joins in this annual event. We have therefore prepared the calendar to ensure that this important event in our parliamentary calendar falls within the period when the House is sitting. This will enable many members to attend. Honorable Speaker, finally, Honorable Speaker, the calendar has taken into consideration the school calendars for both primary and secondary school holidays. The intention of this is to enable members and staff with children to attend to them during the school holiday. Honorable Speaker, with those very many remarks, I request that we adhere to this calendar. This calendar is very important to drive the business of this House, and we have a lot of work to do within the 119 sittings that we shall be here during this year. And therefore, I would request, in the absence of my counterpart on the other side, who was supposed to second this because he sits in the House Business Committee, I would like to request the Council, Honorable Murungara, a very standing, a very outstanding member of this House, to second. Thank you very much.
Honorable Murungara, please proceed.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, as I move to second this procedural motion, it's important that I also echo the sentiments of the Leader of Majority, in that we have our hands full, as shown by this calendar, We have a lot to do, and especially in the budget making process, which has just started and which will be with us until the end of June 2025. Thereafter, we will be looking at the particular acts of parliament to actualize the budget, including the Finance Act or Finance Bill and the Division of Revenue Bill, which will all be coming to us. And it's vitally important to remind the country what we went through last year, that we should actually have adequate public participation, right from this House to the government itself, the executive, through the Honorable John Mbandi, so that the population does not once more say they are not informed, they do not know what is in this budget, while in fact, these processes are very important. There is no country in this world that can run without financial statements, without a budget, or without taxation, or without everything else that was rejected in the previous Finance Act. So we have to prepare ourselves. We know that as parliamentarians, we will take the flak. We are the ones who will be blamed for most of this, but as we do this and as we ensure that our constituents are informed on what we are doing, let the executive also come in and even play a bigger role. With those remarks, I urge the members to take the work of the House very seriously and ensure that we have the necessary quorums at all times to ensure that the business of the day on each particular day is transacted to the fullest. Those remarks I beg to second.
Thank you, Honorable Murungara, member for Tharaka. Honorable members, I propose the question that pursuant to provisions of Standing Order 28, this House approves the calendar of the National Assembly regular session for the 4th session 2025 as contained in the schedule to the order paper. Before I put the question, honorable members, I'd like to give a chance to the Honorable Samuel Chepkonga, member for Ainapkoi.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise to support this very important motion. As you know, Madam Speaker, members need to know when we are proceeding on recess, when we are coming back to the House, so that we can plan appropriately to be in our constituencies. Madam Speaker, the Honorable Owen Bayer, who is my very good friend, made an attempt to say that the Honorable Murugara is in good standing. I don't know in good standing where in this House. All members who are in this House, Madam Speaker, are in good standing. Unless he wants to talk about the legal profession. It is true, the Honorable Murugara is in good standing. That's why he has a practicing certificate. But not with regard to this House. All members are in good standing, Madam Speaker. And with those remarks, I beg to support.
Thank you. I'll now put the question. Honorable members, I put the question that pursuant to provisions of Standing Order 28, this House approves the calendar of the National Assembly regular session for the 4th session 2025 as contained in the schedule to the order paper. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Order number 27, the Equalization Fund Administration Bill, Senate Bill number 14 of 2023, second reading.
Honorable members, the Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning is engaged in other House matters, so this will be pushed to another day. Next order.
Order number 28, the Political Parties Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 35 of 2022, second reading.
Honorable members, the Vice Chairperson, Procedure and House Rules Committee is also engaged in other important business of this House, and therefore that is also pushed to another day as it will be scheduled by the House Business Committee. Honorable members, There being no other business, and thank you for your patience. Honorable members, and the time now being 6 minutes to 5 o'clock, this House stands adjourned until Tuesday, the 18th of February, 2025 at 2:30 p.m.
Well, the National Assembly has adjourned its sitting for this afternoon sitting. Remember, the business of the day has been concluded, and that marks the end of today's meeting, or rather sitting, until next week, Tuesday, in the afternoon sitting. And that is it from the Parliamentary Broadcasting Unit. Allow me to hand it over back to the Broadcasting House for normal programming. Good evening.
Funny story.
Owie! What was that?
The Earthlings are playing football again, and one of them drank a Red Bull.
Well, Red Bull gives you wings.
I found my all-in-one cleanser.
Switch to the #1 micellar water by Garnier Naturally.
Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, now the King of Islamic Republic of Iran.
女士们、先生们，让我们欢迎国际赛会入场。
Ladies and